All right. I tried doing a take of this like before. Yeah, there was 2 shoots. One day I got my makeup done. There was a video, and I just didn't like it. My thoughts and notes were just way too scattered, and I just like, I don't know what else to say. Needed to write down more so a letter to myself. I'm just gonna see if I still like resonate with those feelings in that letter. I say, hello everyone, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yes, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're first time here, welcome. I hope you're here to stay. I really want my vlogs to be a place where I can be real. And you know, this is so hard for me to read. Alright, I really want my vlogs to be a place where I can be real. And you know, I'm not perfect. I don't always have the most coherent thoughts, but that doesn't mean I don't have something to say and that my thoughts don't have value. Anyway, yeah, so vlogging is just me talking candidly about some of the things that I do and what goes on in my life. And recently I was interviewed and featured for an article for Teen Vogue. I have so much I can say about the shoot, but I'm also going to take this opportunity to talk about my interactions with the press overall. The first time I was interviewed for my environmental career was for my alma mater's magazine. I was interning for Oko Farms. There was a spotlight series being done for students who had received purposeful work funding. It was my school's magazine, so I guess it was not a big deal, but you gotta start somewhere. Besides like me making my own media for myself, my next real run-in with the press was when my old classmate of mine asked to interview me for a Slow Foods article. That was something I was really excited about being interviewed for, because I would read Slow Foods articles like in school and like as a part of class and stuff like that. So like to think like I could maybe be some, I don't know, it just like felt cool. Like, oh my god, I have my own Slow Food article, like dope. I think she did a really great job with that article, and you guys should check it out, and I'm gonna link it below, obviously. Anyway, she made me feel comfortable with the article before it was released. So she like showed me the Google Doc. I don't know if that's like a professional thing to do or whatever, but I really appreciated it, just as like to kind of fact check some type of stuff, because sometimes people like misinterpret your words. That's definitely possible in the press. I was definitely still pretty hands-off. Like, I don't think I made any huge changes or whatever. I was talking about other organizations in the process, so like I did reach out to the organizations that I work with, Oko Farms being one of them, to make sure that like the stuff that I was saying about the organization was okay to be in the public eye in the way that I was talking about it with Amelia. I think that's always important when you're starting to talk to the press. So you want to give the most, just like the facts. Like you don't want to give any like confusing information that isn't straightforward. We brought some tomatoes.
These urban farmers dropped off peppers, okra, tomatoes, and radishes.
It feels really good to see the direct impact that you can make on. So the thing about the press is that, yeah, it can be a super great tool to get your name out there and like your story out there. But you have no control over it. Yes, it's your words and your image, but for the most part, you have little say in how it will be used, and you never know how people are going to take what you say. All right, so Teen Vogue. The coolest thing about the shoot were the people. I'll start first with the people in the article. Bianca Lugo is a super caring person and a community steward. We both work at Oko Farms, so I didn't meet them at the shoot. Like we had worked together before, or definitely seen each other in passing at Oko Farm events and stuff, classes and whatnot. Yeah, and you know, it was great to see them as always. They're actually the person who helped to organize the shoot. I think they're the ones who like gave names, so like the Teen Vogue could like choose who they wanted to be a part of like the shoot. So thank you, Bianca. Sunny. So out of everyone in the shoot, I got to know them the least, but I really appreciated the story that they shared as a part of her interview. We were all freezing. At least I was definitely cold outside. Being photographed and like videotaped by like complete strangers. And through all of this, Sunny was dancing. And with a broken foot at that. I just really appreciated her energy throughout the day. Just Sunny is just like bright. She is bright. Her energy was like really awesome. She was like, we were all dancing because Sunny was dancing. Francis is super cool, obviously, and is someone I'd known and met before the shoot as well. The farming industry is super small, so it's just kind of like, once you start to meet the fish in the sea, in the pond, like, we get to know each other real quick. I was super inspired by both of their highlighted quotes from the article. I think that they just have so much wisdom. Like, they've been in this game learning for a while, because like, the more you're in it, the more you gain. So it's just kind of, you just keep acquiring knowledge and like just becoming a more of a knowledgeable person. And you just see Francis as the knowledgeable person that they are because they've worked for it. Okay, right now we're on break, but I would say the coolest thing about the shoot is meeting cool people like Ariella.
Hey, what's happening?
Who squatted on land during the pandemic and started growing food.
Liberate that shit. Liberate the land. Liberate the land.
Okay, describe the feeling like you did last time we were talking of harvesting that blue corn.
Oh my god. That was my second year growing corn. The first year, it got all the way there, but they didn't pollinate right. So I technically didn't have any corn.
Right.
So this year, I was like, I went into it because again, we like liberated a lot. It was abandoned. It was like very shitty, rocky soil. So like, we didn't even know if we were gonna get anything out of it. So then one day, like I noticed like the husks were drying out, and I was like, okay, it's a moment of truth. Took it off the thing and pulled it back, and you just saw like these beautiful like blue kernels, and I was like, I literally screamed. I was like, ah! And I like ran around the lot. I was like, oh my God. I was like stopping people on the street, like, ah! You hold the seeds in your hand, you plant the seeds, and then like you watch this plant grow, and then at the end you're left like with the seeds, and it's like you just like were witnessing their whole life cycle. And then like to grow with them. So like every year like plant them and like, hi friend. Like every time they come out the ground, I'm always like, hi friend.
That's so, exactly.
Like, yeah.
And that's something that I said. I had a video like of pros and cons of being a young farmer, especially in New York City. Right. And one of them was that you're learning every day and you're growing every day with your plants.
Facts. Like,
and it's just kind of
plants, like, and you really do become friends. Like I call them friends. Like when this is my first year planting okra, and like as I was like planting it, like I was like, I'm so excited to meet you. Like I was like, this is our first like growing season together. Like, because then once you've grown them like at least once or twice, like now I know what you like, I know what you don't like, I know what will help you grow. So like, so excited to like continue the relationship with these babies.
It's
like,
so fun to meet people who talk to plants like I do.
Yes, like listen, everybody thought I was crazy because as I was planting the seeds, like I was speaking like blessings over them. Like, and I always tell them like good night. It's like I'm tucking them in. Like I'm always like good night. I'll see you in the morning.
Like, take care.
Like when you.
Overall, the article was pretty well written, and it's evident that the author of it did her research. The majority of what I talked about in my interview, and I'm sure with what everybody talked about in their interview, like just wasn't included in the article, because I'm sure like, because I know that they had to create like a cohesive kind of like message and story. I'm really okay with that, because during the time of the interview, I was really struggling with this idea of being professional and performative in the media, which if you're going to be in the public eye, you kind of have to master that balance. And I was expressing my frustration with not-for-profits that are inherently systematically racist. And honestly, I was just always in a constant headache during the time of that interview. I wasn't in a clear enough mind space to look at my farming career with an emphasis on like the happy times and like the inspirational times and like the like, you know, that, you know, just kind of like the things that like drew me to this field and like why I'm still here. Anyway, so I didn't get to share about like those happy times as much as I really would have wanted to, but I'm really glad that Sydney was able to like find the love that I have and like show it in that article, because I definitely during that interview I was like being critical. Like I was in a very kind of like critical mood. The shoot in itself was pretty cool. I'd never been styled before, so that was like, ooh. Anything that's also really cool can sometimes also feel really odd. I would say this was really odd only because I love dressing myself. At the shoot that I recently did, I was able to like pick out the things that I wanted out of the selection that they gave me. Being styled by someone else was like a different type of feeling. Anyway, so yeah, that's the only reason why it felt a little odd to me, just because I love dressing myself so much, and I do think I do a pretty good job at dressing myself. But like, you know, I should also be able to, you know, like trust other people's visions and collaborate in that type of way. I really appreciated the stuff that was picked out for me. I wasn't made to feel uncomfortable in anything. If I felt uncomfortable wearing anything, I was just able to express that, and that was it. That was just kind of like, okay, if they don't feel comfortable, that's it. I think another reason why being styling felt odd is because we were wearing clothes that I would never wear, mostly because of the price. Like, I think it's hilarious that I straight up said in my last Farm Nerd Stories, farming for the majority of the time isn't this crazy cool sexy thing. And then I went and then I did a teen Vogue shoot in like this crazy expensive clothes that I would never wear on a farm ever. Because if I go to a farm, I'm gonna go do work. Like, I'm not going to no farm to just go around and look fancy. Normally that's not what I'm doing. My day-to-day fit, like I'm looking like, you know, normal, or just you know, I'm looking like a worker for the most part. Like I'm just looking exhausted and covered in dirt. That's kind of talked about in my last Farm Nerd Stories as well. Yeah, and so it just kind of felt a little silly to be in those clothes, but you know, it was mad cute. When I'm not doing that, like, and I get the chance to kind of like go out and show my clothes off, then like, that's a different story. I think getting my photo taken was the hardest part of the shoot for me. I'm just shy, y'all. Like, believe it or not, like I am shy. I really am still at the beginning stages of starting to put myself out there and feeling more comfortable being in like some sort of limelight or whatever. So like the thing about structures like institutions like the press is that when you actually start to interact with the man face to face, they tend to be pretty kind people, you know, like Matt and Kat, like Michelle, like the PA who was there, and all those types of people. It's when you start to look at the whole picture, when you start to see all of the problems. So, you know, my comments on the press as an institution, so, you know, okay, if we look at the press and everyone involved in the press as an institution, then there are a lot of similar things to be critical about, as you would find with many different problematic institutions, and all hierarchical institutions are problematic in capitalism. And what makes the hierarchy is pay. Because in this world, money is power, and pay is your worth. So, no offense to Teen Vogue, but I think my worth is more than a cute face mask. So if you're wondering if people got paid for being interviewed for this article, the answer is no. So there's this thing called time for print that essentially makes this all okay and legal after, you know, signing papers and whatnot. So time for print is a term many photography communities use to describe an arrangement between a model and a photographer, whereby the photographer agrees to provide the model with a certain number of selected photographs from the session and a release or license to use those pictures in return for the model's time. So basically, you get paid with the product you put out. I don't want to make any assumptions about what people make, but if I were to assume, I would assume that everyone else at the shoot was given monetary pay as a part of their contract. I would think. I don't know. That's not something that I know. And everybody who wasn't were the BIPOC folks making your story by living it. So I must be critical when I see people benefiting off of the work of BIPOC folks without proper compensation. And proper compensation in a capitalistic society is money. Period. Why must I not get paid for 2 days of styling photos, makeup, and interviews. Especially if everyone else is getting paid. I can't go to the bank with a face mask. I can't cash that. But you know, I know COVID has proved to be a financial struggle for many, but in a world where we can all stand to do a little better, I would urge press institutions to think innovatively about ways to provide proper compensation to your interviewees. Or, if you're about our work and missions, continue to keep up with us and allow our stories to have an influence on your platforms. Yeah, you don't have to like treat us like one and done, like one article and that's it. Like, come back, get to know us, you know what I'm saying? I promise that we're gonna have some more to say. And you know, recognition for good, honest work is always appreciated on my end. Many cool things came out of the shoot, but I think the coolest thing was what happened when Denise Oliver Perez retweeted the article. If you don't know who she is, and you're interested in the content on my channel, then you should do some research on your own and check her out. She was one of the leaders of the Young Lords, a paramilitary revolutionary organization, and to get a shout out from her just means the world, and it feels like I'm doing something right. That's it for my Team Vogue vlog. Please keep up with me and the work that I do. My Black Business Haul Part 2 is coming out. You guys make sure to check that out. And you know, that's it. I think I'm good. I think I did it. Support Oko Farms. Bye. Gotta get out the bathroom now. I don't know what else to say. I was in Team Vogue and it was awesome.